everybody. Evil's Comics. I don't even know if this is working. I'm just trying different stuff out. Hey, everybody. This is the first time I've ever gone live on YouTube. I'm just trying it out. I had to wait for my, let's see, live chat. How do I see this? Hey, what's up, Hidden? um, I wasn't even sure if this was logged into my, what's up, now, now? I wasn't even sure if this was logged into my account. This is the first time I've gone live. Can y'all hear me okay? Cool. So really, I was just gonna do a test out the live and see how it's going. Hey, Common Gains. Um, See if I can actually talk to y'all. See, because I'm on my phone, so this is all like a test and stuff. I've never done this before, and I saw Tylox going live on his phone, so I was, I'd already been planning on doing this to see how easy it was. Um, but really, I was, gonna do this just talking about TV shows that I've watched. Like currently, if you are not watching the Wheel of Time, I highly suggest watching the Wheel of Time. Currently, it's like my favorite show, and it's the one that I was actually gonna skip on. What do you call it? I lost the chat. Um, no, I was gonna skip on it. Even seeing the preview and even hearing people talk about it and this and that, I was hard gonna pass on it. Um, but I actually started watching it and got really into it, really invested. So it's been really cool. Um, and you've actually read the books. That's something I want to do after I've started watching the show. It's actually highly gotten me into reading the books. I already read a lot as it is, so I mean, I already added it to my book list and everything. But it always depends on how well of adaptation they've done, because if it's like super well adapted, then I might not enjoy the book if it's too close to the source material. But the way I've heard from fans, I don't think it is. Um, no, but so far I've been enjoying it all the time. I mean, it's pretty much like Lords of the Rings mixed with Game of Thrones, mixed with kind of Harry Potter, because it kind of has this Scooby Doo gang feel to it. But no, I have highly been enjoying that. Another show that I just got done watching, which sadly got canceled, but was Cowboy Bebop. I was actually very satisfied with the live action adaptation. I thought it went really well. Compared to other live action adaptations, and I've pretty much seen them all minus like Mob Psycho or something like that. But burned out at 10. I think there's like 18 books. I think there's a lot of them. Um, I could see how you do that. Were you reading them in a stretch, Namna? Like, did you read them like back to back to back? I try not to do that because I know that'll burn me out and stuff like that when you're reading consecutive in a series. Ooh, honestly, I think they do. I mean, right now it's kind of too short. Hey, Chip. Hey, John. Um, in my honest opinion, it's too short. With it just being, what was it, 5 issues? Like, I mean, it could be like a one and done movie. I think it was a well enough story, but the way it seems like they're gonna continue the Me Love in the Dark, like the kind of ending scene. Um, I think someone else finished last few books. Hey, Tyler. Um, I'm not sure. I know, like Usu, SSGSS Usamaki, he has read all of them, and I know a couple other fans in our community have read all the Wheel of Time books, and I know from them, like some of them, they didn't like it at first, but I believe it's because the show was trolling the book fans, and they did it in the right way. They were making it seem like, something different was going to happen at the end of an episode, and then like the next episode, they would reveal, nope, it's not going in that direction. We're still, and they were kind of like, and I think they've done that with every episode where they've been trolling the fans, but in a good way, not in a bad way or anything, but just making them think that the story is going to go in a different way. But still keeping it on the same path. It's kind of fresh because I've actually talked to like Tyler, SSGS, and some other people that are really big into that, the books and everything, and how different it is from the show. But so far, from me not knowing the show and then talking to them, um, it seems like they're doing a really good job. But Cowboy Bebop, I enjoyed. If y'all have not watched that, I liked it. I mean, it's different. It's not exactly the show, but I mean, for the main part, it's pretty much the story, like straightforward. In my opinion, I believe they fixed the ending kind of a little bit. The anime kind of leaves it up to your opinion on what happens, and the anime they kind of made it more precise, but not in a bad way. Um, I'm not. I mean, I'm not. Oh, I love the animated version. One thing I can say from the animated version to the live action is a lot of the people are, they got some of the same people that worked with the anime to do the show. I know like the original creators behind it. I know the guy that did the music is behind it. I know the person who worked on the editing for the anime is like the assistant editor for the show. So that's why a lot of the cuts and everything feel like the anime. The music was spot on. There's even like two new tracks that they added for the show that I was aware of. Um, I mean, I think that the worst thing about Keep Cowboy Bebop, honestly, in my honest opinion, was the fact that they canceled it. I mean, it's only like a month old, and they've already like, cut the lines off of the show, which is crazy to me. It's I mean, you haven't even given enough time to reach viewers or people. I mean, it just came out what on November 17th, and already we're not even like December 17th, and it's already been cut. And to me, it's kind of crazy. I mean, unless it was like specifically money reasons or something like that. But the way I'd heard was it was based on popularity, and it just didn't have the popularity that they were looking for. Um, Another show that I highly liked, and it supposedly finished off, was Lost in Space. I just got done binging that show, and I've seen that. I don't know why they do that. Well, I mean, I know it's based on popularity, but it's kind of weird when we have things like cult classics and stuff like that. When we have movies and shows that didn't get famous until years later, how can how can you cut it off in a month? I mean, like Rocky Horror Picture Show, I don't think it got popular until like 10 years later or something like that. Certain things it takes, for one, it seems like the word of mouth, even in our digital age, isn't as, you know, um, ever expanding as you would imagine it to be, because there's still shows that people have never heard about, or movies that, especially within our community. You know how tight knit our community is, right? So like you think it'd be like that, and there's still shows that just go unnoticed or unheard of and stuff like that. I mean, they drop so much, right? Especially with TV right now. I was talking about it with somebody the other day. Movies have kind of like, since the pandemic and everything, movies have took the brunt force of like the Hollywood, trying to recover from that. But TV shows have not. I mean, they have just gone like full blown, dropping TV show after TV show. In my opinion, it's not bad. I mean, there's nothing wrong with more. What's up, GB? There's nothing wrong with more choices on TV, especially, compared to some of the TV we have out there. They just kind of let it run forever. I'm sure it all analytics they have too much faith in stats. I agree. So I mean, because look how much we focus on ratings and Rotten Tomatoes and this and that. Like it actually, it's almost like ratings nowadays mean more than money, which is crazy because that's the main thing. But it seems like right now we're willing to cut, you know, um, movies and TV shows based on ratings before the money even starts pouring in. I mean, you have to think these digital services, the money's already siphoned off for the specific projects that, like, okay, let's talk about Netflix, but specifically behind Netflix, I'm pretty sure they already have the allocated funds that need to go to those, either the shows or the movies that they're specifically funding, like Cowboy Bebop. So to me, it being a money thing is kind of like, I mean, the subscriptions are already there. So yeah, I mean, I know with Netflix it is all based on popularity, but still, like a month, man, like that's kind of like Masters of the Universe. I mean, as much crud and trash and junk that first part took. And it's funny because like everybody that I know that has seen the second part loved it. and I think he did that on purpose. But it's kind of like that. If you still go look at Masters of the Universe and you go look at the ratings, it still doesn't have a high like rating status, even though that first part was, I mean, especially in our community, it was hated on. Um, I don't know. The Lost in Space. It was the third season, and it's supposedly the finale of that show. I really enjoyed Lost in Space. I never hear anybody talk about that show, but honestly, no. I mean, Lost in Space on Netflix. That is since it started. I mean, I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite shows, but it should be. Like, I mean, the cinematography, the movie. I mean, I don't know. I have to give them a plot. I've never seen a show where every freaking episode you're just on the edge of your seat, and it's not done in a bad way, but it's just one situation after the other, and it's kind of amazing how they did it. I mean, using like real world thinking while they were out in space. It's funny growing up with the Lost in Space TV show and then the 2000s movie. That this, I mean, not only is it completely done differently, but it's such a beautiful like show. I mean, I don't know where they filmed. I have to assume it was like New Zealand or something like that, Scotland, or but it was all because they're supposed to be on different planets within the show. I think altogether, I think it was like 5 or 6 different planets that they get shipwrecked and marooned and take breaks at and stuff like that. But I mean, the cinematography and everything was just amazing. It was crazy. Um, Currently, right now, I'm trying to catch up on TV shows and movies and stuff. I think I finally just watched Shang Chi, which I like that. I finally watched Venom 2, which I was not happy with that. I'm not saying it was a bad movie, but in my honest opinion, and I've told this to other people, it felt like a straight to DVD movie. It did not feel like a big blockbuster or and my biggest complaint with the movie is how do you pick Carnage to be one of the villain of the movie, and not only did I mean look wise I believe they did him justice, but um like how can you have Carnage and that type of villain and not have any blood in the whole movie? Yes, there was one scene where Woody Harrelson had the blood right there, but the whole rest of the movie where Carnage was killing that they there's no blood, and I'm trying to do the spoiler free people, but yeah, to me that was kind of ridiculous. It kind of like it's not that I needed blood, but that kind of character and being a serial killer and then him mixing with Carnage and becoming like the ultimate serial killer, like, and for them to not have blood in the movie was kind of ridiculous. um I don't know, right now I'm watching I wonder if I can highlight any. No, I can't. I was trying to see if I could highlight the chat. I don't know if I could highlight the chat. I can think of that. Didn't. Yeah, like Friends. I can tell you specifically that Friends was not a popular show when it first got started. Like the first 2 seasons. Me myself, I am a big Friends fan, but I didn't watch it the first 2 seasons. I stayed away from it. Yes, I'm specifically excited for the new Robert Patterson movie. Um, I'm excited for it for 2 reasons. Because one, they've already hinted that they're going forward with more projects tied to that movie. Like like as soon as that movie finishes, we're supposed to be getting like they the only words they've described for it so far is like a gritty like Gotham TV show, and it's not supposed to be like Bruce Wayne when he's young or something like that. Um, but like surprisingly enough, I'm not a big Robert Pattinson fan. Of course, we got Twilight and stuff like that, but yeah, that's one movie and stuff. I have watched some of his other movies, and I wasn't a big fan up until his like last 2 movies. His last 2 movies were standout, like amazing. Um, and you going back to Twilight, that was like one of his. I have not seen it. No, I want to see it. It's definitely like actually speaking about the Eternals, and sorry to get off, but speaking about the Eternals, I'm actually more excited after I saw Shang Chi. I was not excited about Shang Chi. He's not one of my favorite. He's not anywhere on my top list of favorite characters in the Marvel universe. But the way they did that movie and the way they kind of incorporated him into being irrelevant into the MCU, I was really excited. I thought that was like them using the 10 rings and the armor to actually, because how is a kung fu master going to stand up with people like Captain and Marvel and Iron Man and stuff like that? I know he does in the comics, but you're talking about in movie format, it's a lot different. Um, and not too much, but it's enough where fans would be like, why is this even a thing, kind of thing. So I like that they did that with the Ten Rings and the armor. Um, so I'm really looking forward to the Eternals. I'm not an Eternal fan. I never have been. I don't mind their play in the whole MCU thing. I think it's important, and it's kind of it's the, the whole gods and creators of the. Hey, J Rouse. Um, but as far as like like originally the Eternals, my big problem with the Eternals was all the previews made it look like there was no bad guy. I don't want to see a superhero-ish movie without a bad guy kind of thing. Um, it's not that, and it's kind of like Morbius, because Morbius is another movie that they've shown us and they have not revealed who the villain is going to be. With Morbius, I actually think they're going to do a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, because he's kind of like he's like Venom, and another one of those characters that he can be like a hero or a villain or an anti-hero. So I kind of have this feeling from Morbius they're gonna do this Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of thing. I'm not positive, but the fact that they're not like super revealing about who the villain is or who they cast as a villain, um, kind of leads me to believe that that's what they're gonna do. Um, that's what I'm kind of hoping for in the Eternal movie, because I don't know who would be. Now, that's saying I'm not well versed in the Eternal world about the deviants and all that. So, like trivia wise, I wouldn't even know who an Eternal bad guy would be, kind of thing. Um, so that's kind of like one of my. I mean, if they do it right, I hope they do it right, because you can get a whole new fan base back behind this. How popular, you can get like new fans invested into it, especially if you do the movie right and stuff like that. Bebop, I don't know, it's kind of weird, because like you're talking about how popular it was, right? And like I mean, first off, you're doing an anime that's like 30 years old. Like, it's not like Cowboy Bebop is not new. um it has never been retouched or redone, so it's not like, even to new fans, because I have a lot of anime fan friends, and most of them have never seen it before, surprisingly. I mean, that's like a lot of the originals, you know like Trigun, Cowboy Bebop, most of those original shows that started. um I can think of a bunch of them, but Black Butler, stuff like that. They're not with fans, yes. Like, that was something I grew up on, with Cowboy Bebop and Trigun and some of those original. But a lot of the new fans, I mean, there's so much anime that is coming out. I want to assume it's hard to go back. So for me, it was kind of funny that they even picked Cowboy Bebop to do a live action adaptation. It's not. I think they picked it because like, based on easiness. It's not hard to do. The original is dope, man. The original Cowboy Bebop anime. One of the best selling points of Cowboy Bebop the anime is it's only one season. I mean, that's hard to find in anime, because I mean, some of my favorite animes are 10, 20, 30 seasons long. I mean, they get up there, and to watch, like, trying to get somebody to watch Dragon Ball Z in its entirety is like 15, something seasons to watch Dragon Ball Z, and then Dragon Ball Super. Um, hey, Sean. Um, so it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I mean, that's kind of my point, is like, there's so much out there, and trying to get people to go backwards to get reinvested. The best way I can suggest watching Cowboy Bebop, if you have not yet, is just watch an episode of Cowboy Bebop before the episode. They're only like 12-minute episodes, like a piece, without commercials. So like, I love Dragon Ball Z. But like with Cowboy Bebop, I had suggested watching like the first, like, an episode before you watch the live action episode. For one, pretty much every episode is redone in the live action format. But there is stuff they mixed around. It's not stuff that they left out. They just kind of moved it. Like, stuff that happens in the second episode isn't going to happen till the end, kind of thing. And in my opinion, it doesn't like deteriorate the story or anything. It's just I, they were really setting up the second season, and it's kind of sad that they have already cut it because it. I mean, if you watch the show, the very last episode is a huge spoiler, like a huge hint that they were going to do a second season. So it's kind of a letdown, in my opinion. It's hard to. It's a hard sell now to get people to watch a canceled show, right? Be like, hey, go watch Cowboy Bebop. It was great. They set up a second season. Yeah, now they ain't doing it. Um, Alita. Is it Alita Battle Angel? And they are doing a second movie to Alita Battle Angel. So far as I know, they have already passed the post production, and they've already been filming it for the past year that I know of, that I'm aware of. Robert Rodriguez and James Cameron. Um, but as far as I know, they're doing a trilogy. The first one was a test, and they succeeded in the test. It was like a money and a popularity thing for Robert Rodriguez and James Cameron. So they've already stated that it was a success, and they're going to go ahead and do the second one. But there hasn't been any imagery, no script leaks or anything like that. All I do know is they're doing, because so far they bid that's another live action anime that they've been pretty good with. Right. Man, he's been talking about really like he filmed two, three, and four all together, and like they were supposed to release back in like 2019. Like, and I think it's funny that he's still going with that avenue. I mean, now Avatar is 11 or 12 years old now. Like, and you're trying to do a direct sequel from that movie that's 12 years old. Like, I don't know. It would have been one of those things with Avatar if he would have done it right off the bat. That's. I mean, I love Avatar. The movie was great. I've seen it a bunch. I saw it in IMAX. Yes, I'm super excited about that, Sean. And that's going to be a hard sell to get behind. People behind is if y'all have not seen it, they have dropped the first trailer to the Halo TV show that's going to be on Paramount. Um, in my opinion, it looks great. It looks epic. It looks like they're pulling out all the stops. If y'all don't know about it, Steven Spielberg and Peter Jackson is tied to the show. They are not directing it, or like I don't think they are producing it, but they are tied. They have been tied to the show since the project got started. Um, but I'm a Halo fan. I'm a big video game fan. But I mean, that's not to say that the story does not have a good story. Like as far that I have like three video games that I would love to see make it to the big screen in any form, TV show or movie. I would prefer TV show because nowadays we are getting into like a different age with TV shows, right? When Game of Thrones and stuff like that. I mean, nowadays it's like Chucky. I mean, we got Chucky going, and it's eight episode run, right? Chucky's like an hour and a half movie, a 2 hour movie. They literally span one Chucky movie into 8 hours of TV, and it was done excellent. I mean, I couldn't even imagine watching like an 8 hour horror movie, but the way they're doing TV and the way they're formatting it right now, and the cinematography and everything. I think right now most avenues should be done in TV. Most people complain about short movies, but you're thinking about a book, right? Wheel of Time. The first Wheel of Time to read that book is like a 32-hour book. How are you trying to fit that into a 2 hour movie? That's like Harry Potter. I got to give mad props to anybody that took a book and fit it into a movie. Because like most books, the smallest book that I've ever read is like maybe 10 hours or something like that. How do you fit at like a 30-hour book, into a 2 hour movie, yeah, some books are, man. My Gunslinger series, I think it took me 60 hours to read the last book. And see, you don't do it all at one time. That's what we got bookmarks for. Um, I love the show, bro. That's what I started this conversation about was Wheel of Time. Right now, that is my number one TV show. I think there's only two episodes left of the series, but so far it has been phenomenal. I'm not a book. Oh man, and that's my favorite series. No, man, it's the Dark Tower series. Out of everything, that's my favorite story. Period is the Dark Tower series. Um, yeah, just two more. Hey, Miss Sal. Yeah, but As far as like Wheel of Time, I didn't know anything about it. I had somebody try to explain it to me, and their explanation was it sounded more of a romance story. And honestly, I wasn't into it. Then I got bored one night, and I was like, yeah, let me just watch the first episode. I highly suggest that anybody that watches Wheel of Time force yourself past the first 20 minutes because this show, it's kind of a good thing or a bad thing, but there's no explanation into this world. There's no tutorial. There's no setup. You get the story as it goes along, and most shows are not like that. Usually, in the beginning of the first episode is all the setup and the build up of the lore and the story. And this show doesn't do all that. It kind of like throws you right in there, and you kind of have to pick it up as you go along. Which, in my opinion, it worked this way. And yeah, it was very much that what I've been telling people. It's like Game of Thrones mixed with like Lords of the Rings mixed with Harry Potter, because you do have that kind of like Scooby Doo, with the because most of the people on their show are young adult. I don't want to say teenagers. They're not teenagers, but I want to say like their 20s, something like that. Now, Wheel of Time has been dope, man. I've loved every single episode. And I want to say after that first 20 minutes, I was hooked. I mean, making it all the way to the end, making it to the start of the second episode. What's up, Phil? I'm trying this out. I told you. Um, but yeah, Wheel of Time right now has been excellent. I mean, right now hands down, it's my favorite show. I mean, when an episode drops, I think this week, like as soon as it dropped, I was already, I was already pulling out watching it. Hawkeye has been really good. I know I haven't touched on, because I have watched all the MCU, Disney, shows and stuff like that. Hawkeye has been really good. I wouldn't say it's like the amazing show that everybody else is making it out to be. It's a good show. For me, they're missing the ball. And they've done this in every MC, show that they've done with WandaVision. That could have been our introduction to the X-Men right there with Quicksilver. And they should have left it like that. That could have been like, they could have brought in those, Fox characters just like that, one at a time. It would have been easy. Um, I love Hawkeye. It's not a bad show. It's definitely not a bad show. As far as the MCU Marvel shows, I want to say it's higher than a lot of the other ones. Preferably so far, and it's hard to say because we haven't got to the end of Hawkeye. But my two favorites were Loki and What If. I love Loki hands down. I thought it was, I mean, just the flow of the show and everything they revealed, and then the ending with Kang. I thought that was amazing. I stood up at the end of that, and like, yeah, I did that whole like, even though I was watching it by myself, but I was hyped to see, Kang on the screen. Even though it was like his earliest adaptation. But no, Hawkeye has been really good. Now I want to, and I'm gonna state this live. I want to say that I don't think it's gonna be Kingpin that is the uncle that they keep mentioning, and I think that's Disney trolling us, but in a good way. I don't. I think he's coming. We already know we're getting. We got Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock for Daredevil, so we're definitely getting that. That side of MCU. Whether or not this is going to be when they debut. I lied. For some reason, I got reconnected. I'm back. All right. But I don't think that in this show, I don't think we're gonna get Kingpin. I think at the end of this, it's actually gonna be because this is based off the Matt Fraction run, and Kingpin really didn't show up in the Matt Fraction run. So I mean, like, and he's kind of there. I mean, Kingpin's there. He's in the Marvel universe, but like, I really want to say it's Dragon. Like, and I want to say it's gonna be a tie back to the Red Room, like that the tracksuit mafia have somehow like are in bed with, and I think that's the uncle they're talking about. I don't think it's going to be Kingpin. I want it to be Kingpin. The way they reference it, like even the way it's not just the way they talk about Uncle and stuff. It's the way they talk about like, oh, he'll be mad. He'll disrupt his business, that kind of stuff. And I have to believe that that's who they're setting up. But that's why I believe it's a troll. I believe it's kind of like the Mephisto thing that we thought we were going to get WandaVision and like kind of like how they did, and it's a bunch of them, and there's nothing wrong with it, But I just don't think we're getting the cameo that we think we're gonna get. Not yet. I think it's coming. I want to believe like Spider-Man. I want to believe that that's going to be the first time we're going to get to see like Matt Murdock, because we've already, like, I mean, if you've seen Venom 2, they kind of answered how they were going to bring that side of the Marvel characters over, and I think they're going to do it with these next three movies that are coming out. They're all multiverse movies. We got, yeah, Spider-Man that's coming up. We got Doctor Strange, multiverse, madness in the multiverse, and then we got Ant-Man, the quantum verse. I mean, you're talking about all the different, I mean, if they wanted to, they could mix over. And what the hell? What's up, Comic Journey? And there's no hands here. I'm not afraid to show my face. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm playing. um, no, but Hawkeye has actually been really good. I mean, it's not like, I wouldn't say it's like, it's not on my list that's like highly recommendable, like, oh my god, you have to see this, it's that good. I wouldn't say that yet. Now we're not at the end yet. Maybe the last two issues, the two episodes will be like that amazing, and then it'll get to that point. But it's kind of like What If. For me, What If was okay, like the first episode to episode. It really didn't like kapow until you got to the end and everything fit into place. I really did believe they did a really good job with bringing all the pieces together, especially with What If. Um, but Hawkeye's been so good. It's been good so far. It's like dogs and cats living together. Dogs and cats live together. Um, So let's see what else. What else? Chucky has been good. If you have not, like, I've been watching Chucky. I think I'm at like the seventh episode of Chucky, and I think there's 8 episodes, and so far that's been really good. And having Brad Dourif's daughter in the show has been really cool. Playing she is like the outplaced Chucky in the show. Um, so that's kind of cool to see, like, the real life Chucky, and his daughters in the actual show. They've done that recently, with Scream Queens and what was her name, Carrie Fisher's daughter. Um, Random question. Okay, how do you personally collect and invest in comics? I wouldn't say I invest. Collect. I collect what I like. I think that's a great slogan, but it's kind of hard because I do I bought. See you, Sean. Um, I do get I do cover buys. I do buy keys, and I buy basically runs. But kind of the way I do stuff is, like, if I focus on a run, like right now I'm focusing on the 52 series. So with like Batman, like right now I'm collecting Batman 52, Batwoman 52, um and let's say Justice League Dark 52. Like, when I collect those things, I just, if I know I'm going for that whole run, I don't care what numbers they are. I pick up where I can. I usually try to go for the high dollar books in the series first before I collect all the dollar stuff in the series, the run fillers. Um, but usually I try and attack the high dollar keys and stuff like that in the series, and then I go after everything else. And that's kind of what I've been doing. Like, sometimes I do it backwards, where if I know the high dollar keys are too high dollar, I'll focus on everything else in the series, stuff like that. Um, but that's kind of how I collect. New stuff is different, because new stuff, it's kind of like, I mean, my DC is kind of like a given, because I like my Marvel and Indies is a little different. My DC is kind of like anything Batman, Justice League, that kind of stuff. Um, my my I love Batman the Imposter Girl. Batman the Imposter and Arkham City, New World Order are my two, like, I want to say my top two favorite DC reads right now. Um, and it's not to say that not immediately public, like a big franchise, because they don't want to take chances on these stories. No, I agree. No, kind of. I want to say they're taking chances, but, like, what do you call it? Like, cautious chances, because right now I want to believe every digital streaming service out there is picking up whatever they can. That's why when they mention like all these comics that are getting optioned, guess who's picking up all? They're not movie companies. They're these streaming services: Paramount, Peacock. Peacock. I don't know if y'all have seen this, but keep Peacock picked up 27 different comic book titles. You know, and like Netflix. Netflix has 57 comic book titles that they. Oh yeah. Um. But you know, I think that's, and it's not just comics. Like I know right now that Paramount and Peacock, they both picked up like five or six anime titles that they're gonna attempt to do live action. I know, shoot, Amazon has 57 book titles that they. What's up, Jimmy G? Woo! Um, but I know Amazon has picked up like 57 different book titles that they're going to adapt into shows. And all these are shows that I know of. But I know recently, like, there has been a scramble on rights and who is going to. Oh, I believe that. And I believe when we do get a Department of Truth, it'll be like the next X Files type of thing, which I believe we kind of need that. You know, I mean, that's one of the things I believe in the media side of things we're missing a lot of the mythical and fantical right now. You know, the fantasy and medieval stuff and that kind of stuff. I believe that that's kind of like Wheel of Time. I believe that's why it's like in Game of Thrones. I believe half of the reason they did so well is because they're those type of shows. And right now, there's no medieval movies. There's no, you know, I mean, you might have one or two Outlander or, you know, but they're very few, far between. I mean, you're talking about how many, you know, medieval big movies can you name that's not Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter? You know, I mean, I can name off some. Most of them are just retellings of King Arthur or no, but I believe in like in media format, like as far as TV and movies going, we're missing a lot of that. I know right now we're in this big horror craze, but I feel like you know the next company to come out with the next big medieval franchised movie is going to be King kind of thing. You know, I mean, and it's not to say that all those different types of movies don't do well, but right now we just don't have a lot of them. We don't have a lot of sci-fi. We don't have a lot of um, like medieval. We don't have like like a lot of fantasy stuff with like monsters or. And it doesn't have to be scary, but like I feel like we're just missing that edge in the world right now. It's kind of crazy. You think? I mean, um, I want to thank everybody for being here. Anybody catches us on the rewind. Like I said, I'm just testing this out. I wasn't really like planning on going live. I'm just kind of playing around, um, talking. Anybody in the chat watching a show that I haven't mentioned that y'all are big into? I know people watching Yellowstone right now. My best friend, he's watching Yellowstone. He's enjoying that. Oh, I know some dances. I know some dances, Phil. I knew the Watusi. I can tango. I can. No, actually, probably a lot of those dances I can't do anymore. Uh, Canto. I read the first volume and the first like four issues that came out, and it was good. It's just more of a family friendly, like a adventure style. When they make Kanto, Kanto will be big, and Kanto already got picked up by Netflix. I think it got picked up before it even was a comic, and they're, they're I haven't heard a lot about Kanto moving forward as far as like that they pick. Oh man, I love Visions. It was great. Um, I am a big anime fan, so in Star Wars, so like the two mixing together. But no, as far as I know, Kanto is supposed to be. It was supposed to be optioned before they started. It was like no, it was like Shadecraft. There were two properties that they were optioned before the book even came out. Um, yeah, I've been planning to do this, and like Phil's pointing out right there. I mean, there's just times where there's just nobody on YouTube, and then why not? I'm not doing anything. So like no, but I do believe when Kanto comes out. But the only thing with Kanto is, as far as I know it, they're doing it's going to be like the CGI animated movie, kind of like Hotel Transylvania and stuff like that. It's not gonna, as far as I know, and I could be wrong. A lot of this information I could be wrong. I am not the all-knowing anything out there. Um, but Arcane, is that the Netflix Arcanian? Is that the Troll Hunter? You're talking about Guillermo del Toro? Um, if that's not what you're talking about, I'm not sure. Um, but I feel like it's at like with the Kanto thing. I don't think it'll be. I'm not against that. I have no, I watch animation. I watch kid movies. I mean, some of the best movies from this past year were kid movies. I mean, Boss Baby, the it's really like the second movie, but it was after the show. Man, that movie was hilarious. I was kind of disappointed by the second Adams Family. I was really looking forward to that movie. The first movie was crazy. League of Legends stuff on Netflix. No, I have not seen that because I'm not a huge League of Legends fan. I did watch the Witcher anime last night. And I watched it on purpose because they're about the show. The second season is about to come out on the 17th of this month. Um, Top three dark thriller horror reads. It depends on what you're talking about. Books, comics, anime. Um, Books, I only have like two that have actually been scary for me. And surprisingly, one of them is not even like a horror titled book. It's Jurassic Park, the first Michael Crichton book. I read that when it came out, and I was 12 at that time, but I had read a lot of horror at that time. What's up, Scott? Um, but Jurassic Park, if you have not read that book, not only is it's similar to the movie, but it's a lot different. Some of the characters do make it out. Some don't. But there is a couple scenes in that book that was very terrifying. It's one specifically with a T Rex in the middle of the lake where they think T Rex is an island, and they're trying to get out of the water, and they're climbing onto the T Rex, thinking he is an island because he's sleeping, and they slowly find out that it's not an island. It's a T Rex sleeping. Um, but the second horror book that really got me was Relic. And I'm trying to. It's two guys that write it, but it's like Lincoln Child Preston or something like that. They did a movie back in the '90s based on the Relic, and the movie was decent, but it's not. It's not the book. But um, I love Michael Crichton. I've read a lot of his stuff. That's another show that I loved was Westworld. Oh man, I love Westworld. Um, but no, the first Relic was good. The movie was decent because I read the book, and then incidentally I think the movie came out right out of that. I'm thinking it had like Tom Sizemore and but it wasn't a bad movie. But as far as like it being scary, it kind of missed the mark as far. But the book was scary because it was about a monster that was just and it was like a mix of monsters. It was like half jaguar, half chameleon, half like it was all this weird like and it was coming after people. But that book was really good as far as like scary and stuff. I don't scare easily, actually. That's why I am a huge horror fan, but I have not I'm just not scared by too many things in the real world. Like most people are scared of snakes and this, and I'm not nothing in the real, nothing that anybody can physically like produce for me scares me. My one fear is heights, and that don't even scare me to that point. Like I can climb up stuff. When I was working, I was working like in a little like crow's nest. It was 4 stories up, and I had nothing under me. Um, my fear is different. I don't know. Um, Follows. Oh, It Follows. It Follows was great. It was really good. It reminded me of a couple other stories that I've read before, but it was really. Oh, you don't like bees? You wouldn't like me, Scott, or you would have loved me growing up because I actually I used to hunt wasp and bees down. I used to go after nest and um, I used to not to sound mean or anything, but I used to kill them. No, It Follows is a not that I know of, but it was a movie, and it was a movie that just came out recently. It Follows. I'm not sure if it was a comic. It could be because there's a ton of stuff that was comics before it was movies, and a lot of people don't even know that it was a comic before movie. That's like how many famous people actually had like star in movies, but actually have like full going like bands and stuff like that. You know, Clint Eastwood, him being a like a like he's a, I forget what it is, but he's like a symphonic composer, and he's also a trying to think, but that's like there's a lot of them. Like Keanu Reeves has a he used to have two different bands. He used to have Dog Star. He used to be in like a grunge band, and now he has like a slight heavy metal band going right now. Have I read the Unsound? No, I've not heard of the Unsound. Okay, so going back to that question, as far as like Maniac Cop was good. Um, and no, that was dope, Maniac Cop. Okay, so like going back to horror stuff, like my top, I can tell you my top horror movies, like that is as a kid, is a movie called Leviathan, and I'd seen Leviathan when I was like 4 or 5, and it scared the crap out of me. It was one of those movies where I was like, I had to watch it like that. Watching it now as a grown up, it's a decent horror movie, but it doesn't scare me like it did back then. But I think it's the fourth Nightmare on Elm Street gave me a pretty good scare when I was a kid, and it's the scene that did it is the scene where the girl turns into a cockroach. That bugged the hell out of me and scared the hell out of me that a human could turn into a cockroach. I was like, no. Um, yeah, that scared the heck out of me. But I'm trying to think. What's up, Adrian? Um, trying to think of another scary movie. It the mini series that came out when we were kids. Yeah, Dream Warriors. Um, it was like that scene and the needle scene where the he had like all the needles, and it was like the hypodermic needle, and he killed that the drug user with the hypodermic. That kind of bugged me too. Um, no, but what was I saying? I wouldn't say it really scared me or anything. I've never been scared of clowns. I have a lot of brothers, and my next brother down, that mini series scarred him for life, where he can't look at clowns and stuff like that. But no, there was like I think there was one scene in it, and it was the part if you've seen the original mini series, it was when they were down in the sewers, and he was chasing the they were chasing the adult like thugs that were helping out Pennywise, but it, it was like it was just the scene where they show him all in lights, and it was like him flashing as he was coming for that dude, and then he eventually eats the dude, and they show what's left of that dude afterwards, and I think that part bugged me as a kid. As a grown up, I've only seen a couple like scary movies that actually either made me jump or because jump scares don't really work. You can, for me as a moviegoer, I can usually feel them coming. It's kind of sucks. Um, but the first Insidious, actually scared me. But I think it was the way I watched it. I watched it by myself on, like it had already came out past theaters, and I saw it on Blu-ray. And I watched it by myself, and I was in my apartment by myself, and it was dark and stuff like that. But like that, like Insidious, it wasn't like during the movie I didn't get scared. It was after I finished the movie and turned it off, and it was just late at night. And I remember I kept looking at shadows in my apartment, like, what's up there? Like that kind of like that was like a scene I saw. What was the Blair Witch Project? And I know it's not current or anything, but when I saw the Blair Witch Project, I was here in Texas, and most of Texas is populated, but we do have like rural parts of Texas, and I had seen like Texas outside of Austin in this little crappy like independent theater, and then I don't know, um, but I saw that movie in like a little rickety theater, and then after that, I was staying with some friends. Like I think it was during college, but we were actually at a cabin when I saw that movie. So going back to the cabin after watching Blair Witch Project was a little hard. Like I wouldn't say I was scared or anything, but it was definitely like It freaked me out a little bit. Um, I want to say the first Ring, and not watching the movie, but after watching the Ring, because I actually saw it on VHS, like it was originally intended, and like I remember I remember seeing the movie, like, and then like hey, Sejon. Um, but I remember seeing the ring, the first Ring, and I did see it on VHS, and at that time we did have landline phones, and I remember watching that movie, and it went to like after Ah, me too, buddy. Um, but getting to the end of the movie, it does cut off into that fizz, the static, the because it's a VHS. And after that, like right after I watched the movie, I did get a phone call, and that kind of scared the fuck out of me. Um, I can't say not a lot of movie. Says I'm having some trouble now. Could you give me some advice? Let's hear it. Let's hear it. I'll give you some advice. Maybe I'm not big on giving people advice because most people don't listen to advice. So, but I will try my dang it. Um, but until he responds back. But here we go. Meeting old friends now essentially ends up being listing achievements and comparing, and they make fun of me or devalue me sometimes. They see me at the bus station, honk and laugh at me. All right, meeting old friends now essentially ends up being listing achievements and comparing, and they make fun of me. Are you talking about like you're meeting like old friends, and now their life is like where they're just it's just you're trying to one up as far as achievements. Yeah, I'm a doctor. Yeah, I got 3 kids. Yeah, I got 2 cars. Yeah, is that what you're talking about? I'm not a big fan of people that do that. I, I mean, anything can be achieved. I mean, you just got to put your mind to it. So the fact that you have achieved it just means you spend the time to do it, kind of thing. Um, I mean, I don't go bragging around about my college degrees and I have um, I don't see the need to do that kind of thing. First off, I don't judge. I don't any walk of life. I don't care. I mean, we're all people. We all have a voice, an opinion. We all have likes and dislikes. That's like conversation with me. I'm not against any form of conversation. Anything is on limits for me. I don't have an off limits kind of thing that I won't talk about or that I won't get into, and that's including my past. I mean, anything. I don't. I've always been like an open book, and I've always kind of lived that way. I believe it. It's like friends having secrets. Like then they're never healthy. They never help you out. Then they always end up and I'm not talking about like gifts and stuff like that. Like I'm talking about those type of secrets. It's always a matter of distrust to begin with. If you have a secret, it's because you don't trust someone that you are holding that, or and usually the reason it's a secret is because you don't feel like they could handle the truth, or they would be devastated or something like that. And you never know. Most times you don't know what people are capable of. So the fact that you've made that decision to hold that secret, mm, I don't see it as a good thing. Um, I don't know. Some people are really secluded in their life, and they feel like they need to be. They feel like they have to hide some things from people. Like I find it really weird. I understand for thievery reasons. You don't want to reveal like your home address. Of course, I'm not showing y'all my home address, but like, I mean, I'll walk around my whole apartment. I mean, I'll show you. I mean, there's nothing inside my apartment that I need to hide, kind of thing. I wouldn't be live, unless I was ready to do that kind of thing. Um, I don't know. Let's go back to this comment. I like that one. You still there, Shajoran? It said you'd have to go more into it for me to talk more into this subject. Yeah, like right here, comic gains. Cut them off. Focus on yourself, education, gym, work, comics, etc. Don't let those kinds of flow people bring you down with them. Exactly. Just do you. Like this is the way I look at things. People. I live by vampire rules, and people say that's it sounds weird, but these rules kind of they hold value. But one, I don't invite myself over to anybody's house. Their live streams. It's kind of the way I work is I get invited. If you want me to be there, you would invite me, kind of thing. I don't just show up. I don't just, like, I don't just, call people at random. Nowadays, it's more like a text thing. Um, let's say I hide everything. Those aren't even my real hands. You see me, whatever. Um, All right, let's see what he said. A dude told me I got a driving license and I'm driving to work. I was like, bro, your father got you that car and you drive your dad shopping for game. Leave me alone. Exactly. Like, that's like back in high school, and that's kind of what that reminds me of. It's like back in high school, like, when people would like the seniors and stuff would show up in their cars and stuff. First off, it probably wasn't their cars. It was probably like a car that their parents bought for them. That's like a car. Even back in the 80s and 70s and stuff like that. You had to have like, yeah, it was a lot harder to get, like certain types of cars nowadays. I mean, as long as you got a down payment, shit, I can go out there and get like a Tesla today if I have like, I mean, and I don't even have to have a job as long as I have like, a license and insurance to drive off the lot. Like, I don't, status and stuff like that can be achieved in many different ways. That's like schooling. You don't even have to go to a college anymore. You can just go online and stuff like that. Technically, I don't value that piece of paper to establish. I mean, because I meet people in life and they don't have college degrees, but that doesn't mean they're not intelligent, that they're not well versed in certain things. See you, Jimmy. Um, what's up, top of the pops, man? Um, no, but that's. I mean, if someone's holding status around, over your head or something like that, that's probably not the people I want to hang around, kind of thing. Um, and they might seem like they're friends, but friends don't do that. Friends see themselves as equals. They don't. No one's above the other. If that's the case, then it's not really a friend setting. It's more like it's that one popular friend and they just have followers or something like that. I don't see my friends like that. I don't, I've had some of my friends tell me, oh, I only keep friends around that do stuff for me, or, stuff like that. Like if you're broke, they won't hang out with you kind of thing. Like, that's not my version of friends. Like, I'll hang out with my friends, whether they're broke, whether they're angry, mad, sad. It doesn't matter. I mean, and I don't hold my status in life over them. If anything, I would use my status in life to bring them up if they were down, kind of thing. It wouldn't be the opposite. It wouldn't be where I'm using my status to be like, hey, look what I got. Look what you don't. I mean, I tend to not kind of associate with those type of people, and a lot of those type of people, they feel like friends, and they're really not. They're the only reason you might feel friendship from them is because it's what they're getting from you. It's how they're using you. And of course, if I want to keep somebody around, I got to keep, you have to keep them, you know uh, what's the word, you have to give them something to keep going, but like friends, I know they don't do that. They don't put status or anything over anybody else. That's right. Look at me. I'm not showing anything off besides my face. So look at. I could go grab stuff. um. All right. Let's see. Another dude. His father is a dentist. He answers phones on his father's dentistry, and he's judging me for working at the supermarket. No, we are not friends. This is happening at the street shopping. And that's how I would keep it, bro. Because like it don't matter where you work as long as you have a job. I mean, most people that do have jobs, they're not happy with their jobs. Like they're I mean, first off, we're not put on this earth to work, so no one wants to work. Like no matter how bad they say, "Oh, I love my job," no one loves their job. We're not built to love our jobs. We're not supposed to be working, not in this fashion. It's different if we were like working or tilling our own land or doing it. No, but the way we're built and stuff like that, no one wants to be at work. So to hold that you have a better job over somebody else, that can mean a lot of things. It can mean you just got lucky. It can mean that you got in at the right time, or it could be like you were saying, it is dad, and he's got of course he's working for the dad. I mean, um, no one's better. That dude working at Jack in the Box selling you burgers is, I mean, he could be just as influential as the guy working on Wall Street. I mean, just because he's at that job for one, it could be the time of your life that you're meeting him at. I mean, for all you know, another year later, that guy could be working on Wall Street. I mean, I can think of some famous people right now that were homeless in their life and now are famous. I mean, we're talking about The Weekend, right? He was homeless and somebody found him. Now he's famous. I think there's like two news reporters, and that's the same way they got found was Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj was making videos just like this on MySpace, and that's how she got found. Um, I mean, I bet. Um, that's the goal, right? But yeah, that's my thing. I just I wouldn't even. Yeah, Jewel lived in her car. Was discovered at a cafe. I remember that she was playing on her guitar. Um, no, I mean like people like that. Stay away from people like that because for one, they're just trying to bring you down, and for what reason? Like you didn't even say that guy's a friend. He's like somebody you see at the store and stuff. So what the heck is he trying to bring you down for, kind of thing? Like you don't even know him. Like, and he's trying to be like, "Hey man, look at my job. Look, it's so much better than yours. You working at the supermarket. There's nothing wrong with man. Every job is needed. It I mean, no matter how small, how big you might think it is, I mean, in the mainstream of things, it's all needed. Like, I mean, even that guy flipping burgers, that guy picking up like dead animals, you know, them people mowing them grass. If one of them jobs isn't functioning or whatever, that's like it's kind of like the chaos of things and stuff. I mean, if we weren't getting paid, do you think people would be showing up for these jobs, kind of thing? And like then most of our world will shut down, kind of thing. So like that would be my advice: is anybody that's trying to bring you down, kind of thing, stay away from them, man. And people, yeah, I mean, me myself, like I have a lot of digital friends right now. I'm in the YouTube community and I'm loving it. That was my sole purpose on getting on YouTube, is because I don't have people in the real world that I connect with. For some reason, I just come off as mean or ugly, or nobody wants to associate with me, and that's fine. But like I just don't have those connections that I do in the real world. But that's why I got on here. Um, and on here, I mean, I found nothing but love and outpouring, and I mean, that's like right now. I'm talking what I wanted to talk about. I mean, you could be doing the same thing. Anybody could do this. I'm on my phone. My channel is all built up on the cheapest way to do this. And still be heard and be a part of the conversation, and be seen. Because that's part of it. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't stay around any of them type of people. Especially if they're trying to bring you down, especially if they are like a customer, kind of thing. Like that's what it sounds like. You work at a grocery store and this is just some like a customer, maybe a regular customer that comes through. And like, no, like that sounds like somebody that just brought my day down, kind of thing. Like for what reason? Like, I mean, have you ever done anything to that guy to deserve the treatment that you're getting? Have I mean, besides doing your job or being friendly when you're supposed to, because that's a customary thing at work. Is you're supposed to smile. You're supposed to wave at everybody, and I mean that's kind of like that comes with every job when you work with people. So I mean, like, have you ever done anything to promote these things with that guy? Probably not. And I mean, in my opinion, there's just a lot of effed up people in the world, and I don't know why. They just are. I mean, like, and I hate sayings and stuff like that, but like, I mean, like, there are people in this world that just want it to burn. I don't get it. I don't want that. Like, I love this world. I love all the animals and the life, and people, and the sky. I mean, there's so I'd like. How can you not just open your eyes and be amazed all the time? Everything that's around you, everything you've been given, every day, every day is precious, and every day is new, and I mean, no, like to be around stuff like that. Take your, I mean, you like, especially because it's not a friend and it's just an associate, something like that, a coworker. I would take me out of that situation. I don't even know if I'd smile at that guy anymore. I mean, I don't know. Um, I can say that I'm not friendly to people that are not friendly to me. See you, Jonestown. Actually, I'm about to hop off, everybody. I've been going for an hour, and I appreciate everybody that's been doing this for my first ever live. I wasn't even sure how this was going to look, how it was going to go, if I was going to be able to talk with y'all, and it seems like I am. And I thank everybody that's shown up, listening to me just kind of ramble, and I can do this. Oh, look, we got some more. Maybe okay. So the other guy who used to be bullying me came to the shop today. He said I wanted this, and then he came like, come on, top, like hurry up. I couldn't resist. I threw things at him. I gave him a look and left. Yeah, because it could be taken in different ways. I don't know. It depends. I mean, you know, I'm not seeing the full picture and stuff like that. So I mean, on his side of things, maybe you might have been moving a little slow, but I want to say that's not the case, and you probably weren't being slow. And this guy just sounds like a jerk. You know, my best advice is kill people with kindness. I mean, I know it sounds hokey, and I know a lot of people say it, but man, you do not know how good it works. Like, if you want somebody to leave you alone, start being their best friend, weird best friend. Show up at their house, show up, like, start calling their phone, like, start trying to help them with their grocery. I mean, you do that, they will literally avoid the fuck out of you. Like, they will not want to be around you. Like, the next time this guy comes to bag his groceries, and maybe he gets in another line, like, you get in that line, and no, you kill people with kindness. It's the easiest way. Like, for some reason, it's kind of the opposite way of thinking, right? Most people are looking for love, they crave it, and this and that. But man, you get in there, and you, you start overdoing it with the kindness, and yeah, then you know it can make some people get all weirded out. Um, no, but I think I'm gonna cut this off right now. I got other stuff I need to do. I think everybody that showed up. I will be doing this again. I'll try and do it. A little more frequently. Like I said, I'm testing this out, but I do appreciate all of y'all for showing up. I hope I was able to help you out a little bit, Shajorn. Um, and reach out. I'm always on, Instagram, Evils Comics. That's my handle on Instagram. Same thing. If you ever need to, I'm like I said, I don't have too many real people that I talk to. So if you ever need somebody to reach out and talk to, well, I'll talk your ear off. But not only that, but I like to listen too. So if you ever need somebody like that, I'm always around. But I want to thank all y'all, and y'all have a great day. I will see y'all later. Bye.